Now, today I am going for the cost centers and cost units. What is a cost center and what is a cost unit? Okay, when we go for cost unit, a cost unit is a unit of a product, service, or time in relation to which cost may be ascertained. Okay, it may be a product, it may be a service, or a time in relation to which costs are ascertained. It is a unit of quantity in terms of which cost may be computed. It is a unit of quantity, that is, it will take into account the quantity only, and okay, it will tell that the cost must be computed for that unit quantity. Next, cost center. It is defined as a location, person, or items of equipment for which costs may be ascertained and used for purpose of cost control. It is nothing but a location, that is cost center. Location, person, or items of equipment for which costs may be ascertained and used for the purpose of cost control. These are the two things that we come across regarding cost unit and cost center. Okay, now when we go for this, the size and number of a cost centers vary from concern to concern. You should not be of the same opinion that the cost centers will be one and the same. They'll differ from one company to another company and dependent on the expenditure and requirements of management for cost control. What is expenditure and what is the management? Okay, what are the requirements of management? The cost centers, they will depend upon the is two things, that is upon the expenditure as well as requirements of the management for cost control. This is about the cost center. Now, what are the factors that will come across when we go for this cost center? The factors are layout and organization of factory. Layout and organization of factory. That is the first factor that we come across. Next, second thing is availability of information. What is the information that is available? And the third one is management policy regarding selection of cost center. Management policy regarding selection of cost center. Which cost center we have to use? Like that, the management has to decide. Okay, management policy regarding selection of cost center. These are the three factors that we will come across. First one is layout and organization of factory. Second one is availability of information. And third one is management policy regarding the selection of cost center. These are the three factors that we have to take into account when you want to decide about a cost center. Now, after that, in the last class, I told you about the methods of costing. Okay, and there I'm just pointed out that. Okay, methods of cost. Now we are going in a very brief manner, not in a elaborated manner. I'm going in a brief manner about the methods of cost. There are different methods of costing. Okay, and another thing is you have to understand that not only the methods, we are also coming across the techniques. Yesterday itself, in the last class itself, I told you that there are methods as well as techniques. So, what is the difference between the methods and techniques? Okay, methods and techniques. Technique is nothing but one way of approach which will decide decide how to get the result. How to get the result. When you take into account, we are having so many techniques. Especially in cost accounting, we have to think about the techniques as well as the methods. Okay, the methods are the general things that we will come across, and techniques are entirely different and they must be studied thoroughly. Okay, that is nothing but the way to get the answer. The technique is nothing but the approach or the way, okay, to get the result. That is nothing but technique. So don't be of that opinion that methods and techniques are one and the same. Methods are different and techniques are also different. Okay, but the peculiarity is the techniques will be included in the methods. Okay, the techniques, they will be included in the method. That is, they are part and parcel of the methods, and you will come across in cost accountancy these methods and techniques. When we go for other topics, you'll come across methods and you won't take into account the techniques. Okay, you will have the formats and you have to go for the formats, and according to the formats only you have to prepare. But here it is not like that. You will have the methods, different methods, okay, and different techniques also. And one thing you have to keep in mind is, whatever it may be the technique that we are using, they are entirely helpful for the management in carrying out the activities. Okay, the techniques whatever we are using, they are mostly helpful to the management cadre, but not to any other person. Management people, they will think about the techniques, how the technique will be when we are getting the information, when we are taking the information, what technique it will help us to derive that answer. So that is nothing but the technique. So we are going for the methods. There are different methods of costing for different industries. Okay, different methods are there basing upon the industries, because the nature of work carried out by different industries varies. Industries can be grouped into two basic types. Okay, the methods, whatever we are taking into account, they will depend upon the industries, in what industry, what costing method they are using. Okay, there you have to take into account the nature of industries. There you have to take into account the nature of industries. When we go for cost accounting, and when we depend upon the industries, okay, nature of industries, then you will come across two types of costing. First one is job costing, and second one is process costing. Okay, so industries doing job work, that is nothing but job costing. Second one is industries engaged in mass production of a single product or identical products, that is nothing but process costing. Okay, industries engaged in mass production, number of units, mass production of a single product or identical products. Okay, that is nothing but process costing. So mainly we are having job costing and process costing. These are the two things, because most of the industries, they are following this job costing as well as process costing. Okay, some companies they will follow job costing, and some companies they will follow process costing. Okay, now job costing, what is this? This is a method where costs are collected and accumulated for each job separately. This is because each job requires different work and production. Okay, when we go for job costing, okay, costs are collected, okay, and accumulated for each job. For each job, okay, they won't take into account all the costs. They'll collect and accumulate the expenses or costs for each job separately. This is because, okay, why we are taking? This is because each job requires different work and production. Okay, different types of works and different types of productions we will come across. So that's why we have to go for this job costing. Is according to customers' specifications. The customers they will specify, and according to that, the product or the job must be done. So when they are doing according to the customers' specifications, naturally you will come across different things. Okay, that's why we have to take into account job costing, and you have to estimate what is the expenditure incurred and what is the thing that we work. we have to do, or production we have to do according to the customer specifications. Okay, here main importance will be given to customer specifications. According to the customer specifications, we have to do each job. Now, what are the examples for this? Process printing press, not process, printing press, construction company, shipbuilding company, repair shops, and manufacturing of heavy machinery. All these things they will come under this job costing, because everything they'll take that as a job. Okay. Now, in this job costing also, we are having some subdivisions. What are the subdivisions that we come across? Contract or terminal costing and batch costing. Contract or terminal costing and batch costing. These are the two methods that we will come across. And sir, what about contract cost or terminal cost? I'm telling you, this method is applied to ascertain the cost incurred on each contract separately. Mind it, we will come across contract accounts, contract costs in cost accounting only, but we won't come across anywhere. In financial accounting, you won't come across. Okay, in financial accounting or in management accounting, there is no necessity for us to take into account the contract. But when we go for cost, I mean contract, the cost accounting, compulsory, this is very very essential, because it is a part and parcel of job costing. That's what this method is applied to ascertain the costs incurred on each contract separately, on each contract. Okay, so this is this. Now second one, batch costing. Everything will be taken as a batch here. Okay, under this, orders for like products are arranged in convenient batches, and each batch is treated as one job, and cost is calculated accordingly. Okay, orders of like products, orders of like products are arranged in convenient batches. What are the orders? What are the orders that we are getting? So all those things we have to arrange in a convenient manner. In a convenient manner, that too in batches. And after arranging them in batches, we have to see the cost of each and everything. So that is nothing but batch costing. So one thing you have to keep in mind is, you will come across job costing. Under job costing, you will have contract costing as well as batch costing. Okay, this is about this. Okay, now can you please give us the examples of batch costing, sir? Biscuit manufacturing. We'll have different types of biscuit. Mind it. Okay, we'll have different types of biscuits, and according to the orders placed by the people, you have to do that. Some people they want good day biscuits. Some people they want 50-50 biscuits. Some people they want crackjack. Some people they want cream. So all these things they have to keep separately in a convenient manner. In a convenient manner, they have to keep that as batches, and they will produce. So when they are producing, they have to know the cost of that. So this is very very important when we go for cost accounting. Now, biscuit manufacturing, garments manufacturing, spare parts and components manufacturing. All these are nothing but the examples of batch costing. Okay, so this is nothing about the job costing. That is the main thing or the first thing that we come across. Then we are going for the mass production. Okay, mass production of commodities, where one commodity has to pass through different processes. Okay, where one commodity has to pass through different processes, then only you are going to get the final product. When it is passing through different process, mind it, when it is passing through different process, you have to see what is the cost at each process. What is the cost at each process? These things you have to take into account. Then only you can be in a position to understand what is the cost per unit. What is the cost per unit, you can able to understand. Okay, when you come across what is the cost that we are incurring at every process, you have to take that. And when you club all these things, then only you will come to know what is the cost per unit. Because we are passing the product to different process. So that is the main thing that we come across. It is a method where costs are collected and accumulated according to the processes, and cost of each process is divided by the quantity to arrive at cost per unit. Okay, when you are passing through different process, first of all you have to take into account the cost of the product divided by the number of units that you are manufacturing. So when we do that, automatically you will come to know the cost per unit at every process. At every process, mind it. Okay, this is how you will come across about process costing. And okay, after this, I'm going to continue, okay, in the next class. Until then, let us wait.